Yo everyone, how's it going? I have no music. Why is that? That's no good. Let's fix that first before we continue onwards. Music, music, music. Where are you? Yeah, I think. Yeah, we got music. Alright, so continuing on where we left off last Friday, I made some more things in this file that I didn't do on stream last week. I continued a little bit onwards during the weekend. Oh, I have to fine tune the audio a little bit. Okay, I think we got it. Where was I? Yeah, we did some additional stuff. Let me show you what I made. So we're already familiar with this part, right? We did that last time, and we also did the napkin and the napkin holder, but now you can see that there is actually like a file or like a texture applied to it. Might not be the best texture, but hey, it's something, right? Especially if you're gonna look at it from a distance, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We also got the plate. This is something I made after stream. It's just a little clamp thing that you usually see together with this bucket. This bucket is sort of has like an ice texture in it so far, but I might in the future just put some put a layer of like ice cubes in there to make up for it, because I don't think this feels as nice as actually having ice cubes. So I think I'll be forced to do that. Just maybe 2 layers of ice cubes. Now it's just a texture, or like an image texture. But what you can do between these two is like you hold this thing, the clam, and then grab ice cubes from the bucket and then put it in your drink, right? That's the fancy way of doing things. At the same time, you could also, if you made the bucket a little bit bigger, it could also be a bucket to keep your drinks cool. So you can have like multiple soda cans in there. You know, the fancy ice holders, or like, how do you call it? Cool box. It's not really a cool box. Cool bucket, I guess. It's like water and ice in there to keep all the drinks cool on a hot summer day. Besides that, we already had this during stream. We made a few bottles and we expanded on it. Something I started editing after stream was the bottle cap. So now it looks like this. I think it looks a little bit better than what it used to be. We also made like a reusable water bottle over here. So you can see. We didn't actually do all the like turning screw things because hey, it's invisible anyway. Let's see. We have 2 bottles with like the caps, like the pressurized caps, and then we have 2 with like the twisting caps. This one is like, I guess it's like a breakfast drink one, and this one looks more like a water bottle. And then over here we have the basic soda can with the lip. I took a lot of effort into making this, like Jesus Christ. And look at this. Look how this looks. This was such a pain to make. So what I did is I took the outer circle here, and then I started, how do you call it, like scaling it down to make it the smallest circle, and then I made this look smaller, and then I moved it like down, and how should I say it? It's like, I changed the diameters of the circle so it's like misformed, so it looks like this. And then I kept doing that also for the inner part here. And I actually had to, like, it's not really subdivide, but I had to go for a lot of extra loop cuts to make it look well. And then I made this one separate. And this one is pretty tough. Let me actually select it. Yeah, this one. As you can see, it has like a circle over here, and it has like a circle over here, and then a circle in the center, and then the outside is also sort of like a circle, but like a rectangular circle. So I had to do a lot of like custom mesh making here. It's a little bit messy over here, I'll admit. But hey, it looks nice now. As you can see, it actually looks like a soda can bottle. So for today, I think it would be nice if we did a little bit of the texturing for these kind of things. Maybe make some new objects. So what I was thinking is like, you know that these things have different textures, right? If we can already pre-sort them, perhaps that could be nice, but I'm not sure if that's possible with like the curves. So I'm gonna test that out. So for example, this is like, we're gonna open this up, and then everything is gonna be color 1, right? So you can just make it this color so it stands out. And then we can say we want a different color attached to it. And that different color should be the outer shell. And that one should be And color 2. Let's make it red. Assign. What does that look like? Why is this also red? I think if we select linked, I think we also want that in color 1. And I'm also noticing something different here. So we might need an extra loop cut to bring this all the way up here. Maybe we also need that at the bottom. Ta-da! Like, this is obviously not realistic colors, right? But it shows a little bit the difference for textures. Like, we can use aluminium metallic color on the top and bottom, and then we can have like a print at the side of the bottle, which is probably something we might do Saturday, where we can do some stuff in Photoshop for textures. At least that's what I plan to do, together with some other minor stuff. So he's gonna say color 1. And then we're gonna select all of these again. And then plus, and then color 2, assign. Now it's probably gonna do the same thing as the previous one, so we're gonna have to add an extra loop cut over here. Ta-da! And then let's see, Shift A. I want to do the scales. Let's see, the scale is 1:1. Scale. There we go. And then go into edit mode. We're gonna do the same over here. Easy peasy. Sign. But yeah, I had a weird morning. There's still some things I have to go after, but I don't want to worry about it today. There we go. Also, I added a light source to the scene, this one, just so that we have a first effect, right? Should we do it in 2 colors or more? Can we do it in more colors? Like if we do this and then turn it to blue, can we assign that? Nope. If it's a curve, apparently we can't just do that. Interesting. Interesting. But that makes me curious to something else. So imagine if we say snap cursor to selected, and then we say add mesh. I say I want to add a cylinder that's like what, 5. Yeah, that's sort of this shape. And then we say like, oh, I want the logo to be over there, or like the ribbon thing. Could I do that then? Of course, we need some loop cuts as well. Like this. Can I shrink wrap this? That's the question. Before we do that, let's save, because this is experimental. We don't know if it's actually gonna work. Let's hope for the best. So there was shrink wrap. Target. Can I even target this? Distance to keep from the target. And it seems to be only giving me meshes, not actual shapes. If that's the case, maybe I should turn this one into convert to a mesh. Can I now do it? Can I add a solidify? Shade smooth. I'm not sure about this one. It feels somewhat some kind. It feels a little bit weird. But it is the realistic way where you can actually see. What if we do it smooth? Ah, we're gonna have problems over here. Is this better? This should be better. And for this one, we can use the red color. And then for the bottle, minus. I'm not sure if the texture is going to be right for this, but let's hope for the best. Let's see. I guess we could just convert to mesh. Convert to mesh. We can Control D this, right? Or Shift D. We can say object align on the X. Is it the X-axis? Maybe not align them just yet. Let's first do something else, and that is change this one to stick to this one. And now they have to align object, transform, align objects. Why are you not aligning the center? As you can see, do I have to turn it off? Object. Oh yeah, okay, now it works. Okay, and now I can make it visual again. Kind of depends what kind of bottle it is, where the label is, right? Because over here it should be on this side, but for this one it should be lower. Something like this. Do water bottles usually have labels? Yes, I think they do. And then Shift D. X. Put you over there. I'm gonna turn these off. And then click that. And then transform. Align to object. And then we're gonna change the wrap to this one. It's probably gonna look weird. Or okay. Let's do this then. But there is still a problem. Do we need more loop cuts? I guess that's what we needed. Although it's not that pretty looking. Can I scale it? I guess the curvature makes it somewhat more realistic. I'm okay with it. Like, this is not the actual textures that we're gonna apply to these things. It's just to highlight the differences. For this one. Wait, let's start with this one. This one can be fully one color. And usually the top is a different color. For the twister, we can also just do red. Then we make it blue. And then we copy one of these. And we move it over. Change to this one. We can. Nope, we can't. Now that I think about it, couldn't I just grab the mesh again and put a layer on top of it? Wait, maybe for this one that's not even necessary. You can just have a specific texture for it. Yeah. So these kind of bottles for like the breakfast yogurt or like breakfast drinks, usually they're like covered from top to bottom in like the plastic wrapper, right? Except for this part. So I was just thinking, can I just is that possible to split the colors? Wait, we can look that up. Multiple colors on a curve. In Blender, of course, in Blender. Applying different color to different faces in Blender. No, not faces. Add multiple colors to a single object. Need help shading haircuts as two tones. I think you just need a texture for that then. Yeah, I think it's a texture thing. Honestly, if I think about it, that could also be done for these things. Let's make this one this. Then this one will be red. And this one will be this again. So you sort of got an impression on what it looks like. Now for this one, this is going to be a little bit tougher. And I think we might have to change this now. Yeah, I think I have to change this. Oh, I need to, of course, do that. Okay, we got a base to work from. Now we're gonna object. Hopefully it works how I'm hoping it will work. Cylinder. I want to flip it by 90 degrees. And then make it smaller. And then object. Transform, align objects over there. There we go. Now we just have to shade smooth, edit, add some loop cuts. Oh. And then also over here, we're gonna, where is it? Inset face for a little bit. I think that allows us to have different colors now. Because with this, we can say it's gonna give me color 1. And with this, we can say it's gonna be color 2. And this is gonna be color 1 again. And this is also gonna be color 1. And then we can say it's like a metallic bucket with a, how do you call this? Can we add a modifier for a bevel? Angle above which to bevel objects. Doesn't do anything. Okay. That means we have to go in here and do it ourselves. Ta-da. I'm not sure on the sides though, what color I should go for. This wouldn't make sense to me. Oh, and then we also get these things, of course. That's gonna be tough. We're gonna convert. Can we convert this? Convert to mesh, yes. And then we're gonna turn this all into this. And then we're gonna open it up. Oh geez, that's a lot of shapes. Maybe a little bit too much, but hey. plus assign. So now we get like tiny highlights, I guess. I'm not sure. Should I make this entire bit one color? Let's see what it looks like if we tried it. Can you make it select inner region? Nope. Select boundary, edge loop, ring loop. Shortest path. Nope. Select by trait. Uh-oh. We're losing control. It's lagging. Face regions. How weird. Can we move in this direction? I probably should just select things this way. I really wish there was a... Well, maybe there is a way, but I just don't know it. How to select like multiple rings. Like, for example, I could select two outer rings and then everything in between would be automatically added to it. That would be nice. Okay, that should be all. Assign. Yeah, that looks fine. I think I want to do that at the other side as well then. There we go. Ah, nah. Yeah, got it. Man, I was worried I had to go select everything again. Okay, we got a color. Can I make this invisible? Yes, we can. And this one should be easier. And I say should. Because you're never sure, right? So if I hold Control plus, ta-da! Okay, that should be it. Assign. And now we have a nice dual color shaker. I'm gonna have to do that with the other one as well. Okay, that should be it. Sign. Uh-huh. I'm just thinking about these ones that maybe I want to turn them back into blue. Then we're gonna turn them both on again. Ta-da! And these ones are simple. You know, maybe I should have like 1, 2, 3 as a color. Okay, this one is a little bit tougher, I guess. Can we turn it off? Yes. Then we go inside the object. Uh-huh. And then we can go to the material again, plus assign. And then make the material thicker again. What makes me... Hey Aiko, how you doing? We're adding like color groups to our objects. So it's already like pre-sorted, so we don't have to do that every time we plug it in. But at the moment we only have like 2 colors. Maybe I should divide it into like wait, yeah, maybe that is a good point. Maybe I should divide it into metallic, transparent, and solid. Maybe that's a good translation. So for example, over here, you can call it solid color 2, and we call this solid color 1, and then And then I guess we should call the other one metallic color 01. Good, just going to log into 14. Ooh, what you up to today? Doing anything special? So this is going to be called metallic 1. And then we also need transparent color 1. So for this one, it would now be transparent color 1. And for that, we can actually use something that might be a little bit more transparent. It doesn't have to be hyper realistic like what we did with the other one. It's just to showcase that the material is transparent if we, or should be transparent if we use it. It's like an identifier. Just going to level up my summoner. Sweet. And how are you? Mixed day, to be honest. I had some trouble in the morning. I had to contact my car insurance company because I actually changed insurance company at the beginning of April. And every time you complete a year in your no claim, you get a discount on your car insurance, right? So what my old company did is they wrote down the wrong year. So when I went to check with my new car insurance, they said like, oh, you only have this amount of years, so you only get this amount of discount, which is lower than what you said it was. So they upped the bill. So I actually had to contact them and then the old company again, and then figure out what went wrong. And eventually I figured it out that their date was wrong. So I called them, I mentioned it, and they were like working through it for like 20 minutes while I was hanging on the phone line. And then eventually they said like, yeah, we entered it into the database. So now if you call the other company, they should be able to look up your correct numbers and then change it back again to the number that it was supposed to be. And I did that, and eventually everything is correct, and it saves me $20 a month. Which is nothing to sneeze at, right? Hey, it's still $20. It's pretty much a game subscription. Now I don't mind going after it. That's not really like the biggest hassle. I feel. I think the how you call it. I'm more happy that I actually managed to make it work. Then I was thinking like, yes, I'm not silly. There was something wrong. It's like a, how do you call it, like personal victory. I think that this already makes it look way nicer, right? Like having like a shiny effect to it. And this having a translucent effect. Even though it's simple. We can change solid color maybe to something just darker, like this. And then we turn this into metallic color. We're gonna turn this into a metallic color. Metallic. This can be the way it is. This is also gonna be metallic. This is gonna be metallic. I think this is gonna be metallic. Uh-oh. No. Solid color, and then it's gonna be metallic. Just adding like a base color to it already makes it look nicer. Also, I still think that this ice looks like shit, but it's something, right? Then we can turn. Now model a Fumo. Wait, a Fumo? What's a solid color, transparent color? There we go. What's a Fumo? Fumo. Man doesn't know what a Fumo is. I'm drawing blank. Oh, one of those. It's never. Yeah. The the Toho plushes, right? I wish I could, man. But sadly, I'm kind of dog shit at like soft material things. There's also something weird going on the inside here. Oh well. And then the top should be metallic again. Or plastic. I think metallic would probably look nicer. Yeah, have I disappointed you? Sorry. I haven't heard the name Fumo in ages. Like maybe, what? 7 years ago on 4chan or something? The sound has actually gone past Toho now? Oh! Yo, imagine if you have that as a... Yo, I'm writing this idea down. Imagine if I commission an artist for a Fumo PNG. Brilliant. Brilliant. Let's write it down before I forget it. Let's see, assignment tracker. Fumo Blush PNG in the future. Could be funny for if you do collabs, right? Thanks for the idea. This outer shell bucket thingy, container thingy, should I make it metallic or just a solid? I think metallic would probably look nicer, right? So it's all shiny and stuff and reflective. And of course, these are all solids. Do I really have to do it one by one? Wait, what if we did it transparent? Then you suddenly have like a glass plate. Huh. But for now, let's just stick to this. So there's at least a little bit of color inside the scene, huh? But how are you doing? I should also definitely shout you out again. I have to get more used to that. And it was with small letters. Let's see if it works this time around. First try. Ah. Oh no. I think it broke again. Gosh darn it. Like last time we wrote it with big letters and then it didn't take it, so what's going wrong this time around? I ate too much soup, I can't move. Wait, how much soup did you eat? I really have to do it per thing. Too much, duh. So are you like sloshing around? Are you rolling around at the speed of sound? Got places to be? Oh wait, no, that's Sonic. I'm stationary at the speed of light. I think stuff looks a little bit nicer this way, right? So you at least get like an impression on what it's supposed to be. Like, oh, you can see this is supposed to be transparent. This is supposed to be a metallic thing. Although, I think the side of the beer cans are still pretty shiny. Even though it's not actual metal, right? It's still, how do you call it? What's the English word for it? High gloss. That's what they call it, right? High gloss. So if we add a new material and say solid high gloss. This is for all. Stationary at 18.5 miles per second. Wait, huh? Is it? That doesn't have to be the speed of the rotation of the Earth, right? Is it one of those big brain jokes? No? Ah. Oh, well, I was close. I was close. It wasn't the rotation, it's the speed of Earth through space in general. Okay. I got close. I got points for that at least, right? Which one was it again? Clear coat? I don't remember if it's clear coat. There is a little bit of a shine here. Why is the glass so different between these objects? Look at this. Here you can see there's obviously like something shiny, but here, why is it not here on this object? What's going wrong here? Oh wait, there it is. You got some gloss on it. Sweet. But yeah, these are all like table, restaurant things at the dinner table kind of decorations. I'm still thinking about what else to add. If you have any ideas, feel free to add in like things I could add to the assets. Like I've been thinking, like you could literally make like a bag of chips. What's the fork situation? We got forks. Wait, what's going on here? Uh-oh. Those two. There we go. Okay. Well, you could make a big 45 cl latte glass, so I can see how to actually model a glass, because I'm dumb and model a plane and then solidify it, and it looks like shit. Oh, a latte glass, a latte glass. I think I made one of those before, right? Wait, let me look it up. Latte glass. Oh, is it like the one that starts small at the ground and then as it goes upwards, it gets wider? Wait, I can just grab a reference, I guess. Copy image. Save as. Reference image. Where is it? Many shapes for that? Yeah, but we can take a look at one at least, right? So what we could do is turn our camera like this, go over here, and then we should be able to add an image as a reference. Where are we? Where's the oh, there you are. Ah. It's a little bit on the big side. Let's make it smaller. You're talking about these things, right? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Let's see if we can make it. They don't need a handle though. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm gonna ask, how do you usually do this? If you were to, if someone asked you to make this, how would you approach this? But you can still make it what you if you want. Sure. Like, I'm gonna guess is what if they ask you to make this, that you would probably, let's see, cursor to selected. You would probably add like a cylinder or something, right? And build from there. I literally make a circular plane and then shape that into a cup shape, then solidify it. Ooh. Yeah, that's how I did it in the past as well. And the meshes got wonky. Something you could do to make stuff a lot easier is also use curves like this. You could make a Bezier, and then we're gonna put this to something small. I did it like 20 minutes after making my first donut, so I was inspired to use modifiers. Oh, yeah. Modifiers are good though. So over here we have our silly shape, right? But it's not ideal. But with modifiers you can add the, where is it? The screw modifier. And suddenly you see what it does. The screw modifier, what it does is you can make like bolt shapes to it. For example, you can do this, and then depending on how many iterations you have, you can make it longer, right? Like this. But if you have 0, it makes just a perfect circle, whatever you do. So if you go into the shape and you, for example, grab this, like this, and then move it outwards. As you can see, it just, and then if you turn it off, you can see like, oh, this is the original shape, which you can then put like this, and then you can put this one like this, for example, and then you see you have like a profile now, right? So if you now turn it on again, ta-da! Man made a ball by accident. But yeah, what you can do with this is we can just turn it off for a moment, and then you always want to keep this one in the center. But what we can do with this one is we can move, wait, put the start in the center, and we want to turn it minus 90 degrees. This one as well. We want to delete it. So now you only have like a single dot here, right? And we can pretty much extrude this over here. And it's not easy to see. Let's see. So what you want to try is like center this at the center of this profile. Also, sorry for flashbanging you. And then I think we have to move this a little bit lower. So you can just move these points, right? And then you could say like, oh, I want to have it here. And then I want to extrude in this direction. But then you start to notice that there's this weird thing going on, right? So you can just rotate these points however you want. All right, you can say like, oh, I want it to be turned 180 degrees exactly. And by selecting these things, like the outer parts, you can affect how much how much bend there is in the line. For example, for this one, we could like lower it like this, and then it makes the line a lot sharper. And since this is mostly just a straight glass, you should be able to do, let's see, we just bring it up here. Did it bring it up there? Nope. Misgrabbed. There it is. And then we move you outwards. Like this. I'm with you and I see where it's going. So now you pretty much made the outer shape of the glass, right? And if you have like weird angles in between, you could even add that as well. You just select this one, and then right click, you can subdivide and then divide it into even more sections if you have like weird shapes in between. So for example, you could select this and suddenly it has this weird profile to it, right? But let's keep it simple for now. If you now turn on the screw again, you can see what we got, right? We got the outer shape. You can see we still have like a little hole at the bottom, which isn't good. This doesn't deserve a beauty prize, but at least it's something to work with, right? And with the reference, you already know the profile of the bottle. So what you can now do is just, there's two ways you can continue onwards from here. One is do the solidify, and then you get like this thick profile, and then you can turn it into like 3 millimeters, for example. And then it just looks like this. And you even with the screw, you can add more steps to the circle as well. So the problem with doing it with a normal circular mesh is that you always see these like little points on the corner, right? So with the steps viewport over here, you can decide yourself what you want. For example, if you want to have a square glass, you say 4, and suddenly it becomes like a very low poly glass, right? And then you can also have, for example, 16, and then becomes rounder. And if you really want something round, you usually set it to 32. As you can see, it's pretty round now. So it's easy to use, or you can just use it as is. For the other one is, let's see, we remove the solidify again. So now it's just a flat thing, right? But instead, because you're using the curve, you can open the curve menu, this one, data, and then you can go over here and you should be able to, I think it was extrude. Yeah, there it is. So you can also put extrude to 2 or 4, 5, etc. to also give it a thickness. Now the benefit of doing it through curves is curves you can modify. So you can imagine if the glass is thicker at certain points and thinner at other points, then you can actually modify that. So to clearly showcase that, I'm gonna turn off the screw for now, or well, maybe not just turn it off. You can also just halve it. So the cool thing about the screw modifier is now it's set to 360 degrees, but you can literally say 180. And then it makes half the glass. Like this. So now you can clearly see the profile of the glass on the inside. Like, what does it look like? And then once you're done modifying it, you can just put 360 in again, and suddenly it's like a full glass again. So this is a way of making things where it's non-destructive. So you can keep playing with like the modifiers. Like even at this point, if you think like, oh, I want to turn it into a screw shape, I'm gonna go for like 20 millimeters, and I want different iterations. Then suddenly you have this weird shape looking thing that just keeps rotating around itself. It's pretty fun to play around with. You can even like change this like how steep it curls. You can make like curly spaghetti this way. But yeah, let's turn it back to 0 again. And then iterations, we only need 1 iteration, because otherwise it's just going to overlap 8 times over itself, which isn't very useful. But let me show you what other benefits you have to this. Is if you go to edit mode, you see we have these kind of shapes, right? Or like these kind of points. So what you can do is you can do this. So for example, if you want your glass to be thicker at this size, you can actually change that. You can do the same thing over here. Like imagine you want the thicker bottom. You can just have a thicker bottom, while the rest of the glass is still thin. You can even do it at the top to have like a wider lip, or like a smaller lip if you want. I do worry that it will look like when rendered. Well, like which part? Oh, yeah, but it's looking wonky because it's like half, right? If you put it into 360 and go to object mode, and then we could add like an actual material to it, like the metallic color. See, only if you move, it starts to be weird. See, because it's still thinking. But the moment you stand still, there's nothing wrong. And you can even bring it up higher. Let's see. Like if you want even more detail, you can bring it to 64 and then it becomes even smoother. It's full of planes on the inside. Oh, yeah. You mean if you use a transparent material? We can take a look for that. Transparent color. Yeah, you can see that if you use a transparent material, it's gonna do the ripped thing. But that's if you use this method. There's also still the other method, right? So if you bring this down to 0 again, and then we do the solidify. It's also showing over here though. Although I'll admit that it is very poorly made. But Norma doesn't want it ripped for his own pleasure. I wonder, because these are the same methods that I used for rendering my drinks, right? My glasses. And of course, after you're done like making this thing, you can always convert it back to a mesh. And then if you open it, suddenly you have this very detailed mesh. I also wonder if that's like the material thing, because at the moment I just put it to transparent, right? Like this material is a very low quality glass variant where it's just, oh, I just lowered the alpha a little bit. But if you want decent, if you actually want decent glass, I can perhaps import it from another file. Let's see, import, append. And then append from here, material, glass base, append. So now I should have grabbed the glass from my other file. And if I do this, I should be able... You know what? Just for safety's sake, let's save before we actually apply it, because that glass is a little bit more complex than what we're using here. It has to think. There we go. At the moment, it just looks dark, right? So we should probably add like a surface beneath it. Let's see. It's gonna be maybe a little bit messy in the way that we add it. And then we can do solid color 2. As you can see, I changed my material to something that I made before, a little bit high quality glass. You can't see it in the viewport, but once it's rendered, it looks nicer. So this is something annoying in Blender. If you want to have decent transparency, you have to actually dive deeper into the shading. I'll show you what the shading for this one looks like. As you can see, it looks a lot nicer, but it also means it's a lot more complex. So you have the glass tint over here, and then it goes into the IOR, which is like, you know, if you look through a piece of glass, there's some deformation there. Like it's not exactly straight. That's the IOR value, which you can actually change, as you can see over here. And the value changes depending on if it's like water, crystal, glass, or any other material. So I put it here, and then I even have like a different value depending on the color of the light. So let's see, we have... Let's see, where is it? We have one for blue. We have... Where's the other one? Oh, it's a little bit over top of each other. Can I move you down? There we go. Okay. So you know the colors for light is like RGB, right? Red, green, blue. So I did that. I took the base values of that, and then had different factors attached to that. So it has like different values. So if you shine a red light to it, it will have a different light effect than if it was green or blue. And then you like after doing all the different light calculations, you also have to bring them back together again. So here you see it's like, oh, red is coming back together with green, and then later blue is also adding back. And then we also have refraction also being added. And then transparency, and what was the last one again? The noise texture. Because glass is never perfectly clear, right? There's always like inconsistencies or like noise in there. So that all gets added into the final product. And then you can also have like scratches attached to it. Here you can see what the original texture looks like. It's like little scratches of the object being used, and then you add that as well on top of it, and then suddenly you get like a very high quality glass you can use. At this one I can even connect this one to this to add a bump map or like a bumpy texture to the glass. But yeah, this at the moment it's just smooth, because the more you add to this formula, the heavier it is on your system. But if you render with this, the glass is gonna look way more high-end than if you just use an alpha, how do you call it, like an alpha transparency thing? Because that's not realistic transparency, right? It's not actually glass, it's just making the layer translucent. So yeah, that's the difference. We could take a look how it looks if we were to use the other method. Let's see. Oh shit, we already broke it up. So we already turned it into a mesh, right? So we can't really easily go back. But you can see there's no longer any ripped sides on the inside. And that's because it actually properly does the calculations. And that's the closest that I got to proper transparency in this engine, the render engine, because this is the render engine for Eevee, right? But there's also cycles. I have not really touched cycles that much, because cycles changes a lot of things compared to Eevee. And I noticed that I have a preference for still a slight animated look to my objects. I think cycles has the more realistic look to objects, but I think it's too realistic for my personal taste. I love melting everything. Please tell me you at least save them as PNGs or JPEGs before compiling them, or do you actually like animate, like render animations directly from Blender? My computer would probably blow up. Look, I've learned my lesson now. You only burned down the house? A small price to pay, right? But yes, I spent 3 hours rendering 41 frames. Oh, yeah, that's rough. Yeah, it really depends on like how complex your scene is, how much reflection there is, if there's bloom, depth of field, like all the little effects you add to it. All the time was spent updating the textures. Oh. Wait, did you do the same frame over and over again, or were it multiple frames? Like, was it in proper animation, or were you just doing the same frame over and over again? Oh, multiple frames. Oh, so did you have like the object move, or did you have like the camera move? Infinite, oh yeah, loopable, right? 2 objects move. Sweet. Yeah, that's what I did as well with my drink animations, the shorts that I have on my channel. Is in essence, it's only 720 frames that I rendered. And then since you can loop them, you can rotate it. And then 720 frames divided by what, 30 or 24 frames per second. Unfortunately, I'm new at learning animation, so it still ended up looking too stiff afterwards. Oh yeah. It takes a long while before like understanding everything properly. The only thing I can say is try to start with simple things, like for example, the hinge on a door, or the hinge on a treasure box, or like those kind of things, right? Let's see. I think I can delete this one now, right? Unless you want to know something else about the glass. Oh wait, maybe I can still show you something else. Would you want to know how the ear works? I can show you with this one. So this ear is also just a curve. As you can see, I can just move it as I want. And that also means I can easily change the material of this thing. But it works slightly different in that, let's see, you add curve, Bezier, and then we can just rotate this 90 degrees. Then we go into edit mode, and then instead of like doing the other stuff of giving it a screw or giving it a mirror or like solidifying it, this time you actually have to go into here at this. Why are you not visible? What's going on here? Oh, is it? Yeah, okay. I got it. There we go. So now we can say like, oh, we're gonna bring this up. And this one has to rotate, I think. 180 degrees. And then we bring you up. And bring you over here. And then the other one. Minus 45. Like at the moment we're like working inside the object, right? But what we can also always do is like grab this thing, put it behind there, and then move our camera like this. It's a little bit of puzzling, but you can make the profile this way. It just takes some playing around with like where to place it. Now you'll probably notice that this thing is like perfectly round at the moment, right? Well, usually these kind of things aren't. You see they're like, I call it like thick, I guess is what you could call it. Okay, so now we have this very weird looking circle thing, right? It's perfectly circular, but we don't want that. We want it to be like thicker in one dimension. So that's where you use the extrude force. If you use it like this, you can see it becoming thicker, but it's becoming thicker in the wrong dimension at the moment, right? You don't want it to grow thicker in this dimension. So what you can just do is grab all, and then you can say tilt. So now you can tilt it to turn it on its side, and then turn it to 90 degrees turn, and then suddenly the shape becomes more akin to what you want it to be, right? And even then, you can still use the radius to change the thickness of certain parts of the object to start to imitate what it's supposed to look like. Now I probably won't be able to like perfectly mimic it this time around, because the fine-tuning of this takes a little bit of time. You can see it's doing a little bit of a weird thing over here. But yeah, you can change the values in different axes, I believe. Let's see, where is it? Oh, this one. But that's how you can make the general shape. For the air, I would have started with a cube. Yeah, I probably would have done that as well. It's not been that long since I started using curves, but as you can see, using curves is pretty much like using clay. You can keep molding it however you want. Perhaps this one has to go down. And this one has to go outwards. Is that away? It doesn't have to be a perfect replica in this case, right? We can just do it like this. And then and even now we can just go back on this one and lower the extrude factor if you think it's like too big somewhere. I'm not sure what it's gonna look like if I turn it into the glass texture though, so let's test that as well. Well, it looks pretty good, I think, right? It's not a perfect like profile match, but it's pretty close. It's good enough, to be honest. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I do it. And then of course, if you want to, if you're fine with the general shape but just want to tweak some things you wouldn't normally be able to do in curves, you can always turn it into a mesh if you're happy with what it looks like now, and then keep tweaking it in the mesh. But yeah, that's pretty much how you can work through this kind of stuff. But for now, let's turn it into the simple material so it doesn't eat too much computing power. You can see the difference, right? Now it's like transparent. You barely see that it has like it exists in the world. It's like totally transparent over here. It doesn't have any mass if you look at so many polygons good enough for COD, ship it. Or what about Starfield? People were complaining a lot about that game. It's like most of the polygons went into the junk items. Like if you dropped all the melons inside the spaceship, it would lag out your system. Oh, by the way, that's also a good thing to learn is to grab references. Like, I made these things mostly by memory and by just eyeballing it. But you can actually use these references as well to get a perfect profile matchup. Depending, like this one is still like it's not a perfect picture, right? Because you can still see there's some like bulging at the bottom, but it's still close enough. But if you get some schematics for certain items, it's still pretty nice to have blueprints for that kind of stuff. But hey, since I'm stuck without anyone drawing references for me, I'm just grabbing stuff off the internet and eyeballing it. Or I literally have like a glass in front of me or a fork in front of me, and I just measure it and see like, oh, it's around 20 centimeters, so let's use that. Ah, okay. I'm not sure like what your experience level is. You never stream it, right? I don't think I've ever seen you stream like 3D modeling. No, I just chill with it. Man, that was my problem in the beginning a lot, and that's why I couldn't stream a lot of 3D Blender. Is because I was still learning the program myself, right? So sometimes I just got stuck somewhere, and I was like, how the hell am I gonna solve this? And then I had to Google stuff or like go to forums to check out like, oh, what is this function called, or what modifier should I use, or in what order. But slowly, as you continue onwards, it becomes easier and easier. But there's still so much left to learn for me. But I got enough experience to call myself intermediate. Oh, nice. Honestly, I'm not sure where I'd be at the moment. Because everything I do is just self-taught. It's like YouTube tutorials. And yes, I also did the donut tutorial, and I absolutely flopped that initially. Because I was using a different version of Blender. So whatever they were telling me to do, it didn't work. Let's see. Do I still remember how to use the... There's another modifier. A very interesting one as well. I think geometry nodes. Like if you use geometry nodes, what you could do is you could select a surface and say like, oh, I want to apply geometry nodes to that. And then I want to add multiple instances of this glass to that surface. And then it would draw from a random seed. So you could have like 5 glasses next to each other, randomly placed at different scaling. Like, for example, some had a factor 0.8 and others 0.9 or something in between to make it different sizes. And you could even have a randomness factor for colors, so that every time the glass was put into the scene, it gained a random color. I did a little bit of that with my Christmas tree, but I definitely have to save that how do you call it, that material, so I can more easily use it in the future. Wait, maybe I can, yeah, let's just save this for now, and then let's see, it was the Christmas tree. Do I still have it somewhere? Oh, the loot box is also a nice one to practice. Let's see if it's gonna lag out my computer. We're loading. There we are. So this is a very heavy animation that I did, and it involved like physics or gravity simulation to make something drop out of the sky. But I'm not sure why it's invisible at the moment. Why is it invisible? Did something break? Because at the moment this box is staying up in the air, which is not what it's supposed to do. So as you can see, it's a very simple scene with like just some walls, fences, and a lot of blur added to the scene. The original animation is where it drops something out of like what looks like a spaceship from a distance, and then it drops it on the floor, and then it unlocks the chest, and then you can see something coming out of it. That's the original animation. But you can see that it's already lagging pretty hard. And with this one, I had the camera follow an object. So you can see that it's following it. It's moving, and then you can see it's changing direction. And there's multiple camera angles attached to it to make that like effect. But I'm not sure why the chest is staying up in the air, because this chest, this one, is supposed to drop down, man. What's wrong with the chest? Did something break? Maybe it's using a function that's no longer... Animation, cube, modifier. Wait, what if we have the simple box then? Oh, there it is. So this is the simple box that I originally used for the physics simulation. But that one is also staying up there, so I'm not sure why that's a thing. Oh, that would be such a shame if the animation broke, because I wanted to reuse it in the future for other artists as well. Darn it. Yeah, what I did over here is I added a bone that was attached to the top of the box, and then had that animate. So you can see it's like eventually, if this thing is gonna move, you can see this thing is gonna open up. Perfectly. But for some reason it broke down. Also, this object is pretty heavy. If you look at how many like vertices there are on this thing. I guess it's also part of the foam on the inside. This is the overlay. So this is one of the artists that made work for me before. And I thought it would be cool to have an animation on my channel for the delivery of the artwork. I'm still working on like a booster pack thing. Like there was someone else who made how do you call it, like a trading card game kind of artwork. And I figured like, oh, that would be nice if you have like a booster pack coming into frame and then you unwrap it and then like the card pops out and it's like a shiny card version. But then I actually have to mask it properly. So I've been that one has been delayed quite a bit. Let's see, do we still have the Christmas tree as well? Nerf gun, no. I know someone who would love that. Oh, you mean like the custom animation? For delivery of the artwork? Or are you talking about the booster pack? As if it's like Pokemon trading cards coming out. Oh, there it is, Christmas tree. Don't save. Oh, honestly, I could sell that as an animation as well. Like, what I would love to do is like do VGen stuff where I just pre-render, well, not really pre-render, but make certain animations, and then I can texture swap the animation with something of their liking. So if they have like new artwork on their channel, you can change the texture on the booster pack, and then also change the texture on the card itself to be something for their channel. So yeah, this is the Christmas tree that I made, including fancy decorations and like the sparkle thingies and lights. The render for this one was also pretty heavy. You can see like how many lights are on the Christmas tree, because the more angles you have for your Christmas tree for the light sources, the better the shine is on all these Christmas balls. But the reason I opened this one up is because of this. You can go to, let's see, was it shading or was it? Yeah, geometry nodes. Here you can see it. Let's see, how do we, oh yeah, over there. So it calculates like instances of the presents. And it also deals with the placement of the present. So I didn't manually place these things. No, they're like randomly planted on a grid. And you can change, I think you can change the seed factor as well. So if I were to change the seed factor by 1, it should change stuff. I'm not seeing any change at the moment, but oh, there it is. So if I pick 10, the distribution of the presents is like totally different depending on what seed you use. The only danger is that it can't be clipping, right? And then what I also did was, let's see, I think it was for the shading. Shading of these presents. Where is it? Where are the original presents? there it is. Here we have an example of one of those Christmas presents from the collection. And you can see that over here we have a color ramp. And we say random factor into the color ramp. And then from color we go into base color. And that means every time you put this present down, it should have a different color. So if we duplicate objects, as you can see, now it's orange. Now it's this color. Which is a pretty nifty thing if you want to have the same object, but you want like multiple colors of it. It's mostly useful for small clutter stuff. Like what you could also do with the randomness factor probably is choose which texture you're gonna use for something. The donut tutorial covers that already? Ah. Wait, does it also cover the geometry nodes though? Like this one, the random placement? Because this is like an extension of that. If it's just the color thing. Oh, then the geometry nodes, or like the donut tutorial got updated then. Because back then it was mostly just making the donut and adding the sprinkles on top. Random location, colors and such. Ah. The 4.0 tutorial. Oh. Yeah, I think I did the tutorial like 2 years back. And back then we were like still on like, what was it, 2.4, 3.0? Something like that. But that's nice that they actually update the tutorial for newer versions. Definitely something I'll have to look out for then. But yeah, these are old projects that I did, and I actually still have to grab all these like objects and turn them into a collection, so I can more easily grab these things in the future. Because I'm a lazy motherfucker and I don't want to keep remaking every glass bottle that I use. You know, maybe I should change the color for the... Yeah, maybe it is wise to change the color for... maybe not blue. What if brown? Yeah, at least you have some distinction that red is the shiny stuff, brown is the solid stuff, and then gray is the metallic. I can probably keep this glass, to be honest. If it's not too laggy. Oh, maybe I should put it at the near the cups then. Object, transform, align. There we go. Then we rotate it on at 80. We should probably make it a solid for now though. let's see. You got different plates, we got different bowls, we got different cups, we have coasters, there's sugar holders. I probably still have to make the teapot, but I'm kind of stuck with teapots because teapots tend to be very old school, right? Maybe I can find some inspiration on the internet for a modern looking teapot. Seems that if you go for modern teapots, it's more glass based. Yeah, it seems to be mostly like a combination between metallic and glass compared to like porcelain or ceramics. I was actually thinking that maybe the shape of a modern teapot would be more angular, but it seems that most are still pretty rounded. Are there sci-fi teapots? Let's see if it exists. Sci-fi teapots. No, that's steampunk. That's a weird crystal thing. That's a battle tank. Jeez, what the hell? What are people making? Also, there's apparently a Doctor Who teapot. Be right back. Okay, no problem. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Oh, there's even some AI generated shit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the glass one. So let's grab that as a reference for ourselves. Oh, there are alternative versions that have... interesting. There are some alternative versions of the teapot that has like a central column with like holes in it. That work as like a filter. Well, maybe not a filter, but it contains the tea leaves maybe. But I also like the other shape. Let's grab the other shape. Grabbing this, and then I go back to Blender, put it over here, add, let's see, documents, screenshots. Then I have to browse through my cursed folder of screenshots that I make for shits and giggles. Maybe I should sort by newest. Sort by date. There we go. Of course, it's way too big. Compared to bottles, I'd say that this thing should be probably this big. Something along those lines. And we're gonna make it look a little bit different. We're just using this as a reference because I like this shape over here. And if we are extra lazy, what we can also do is we can just grab this ball over here, duplicate objects, press Y, bring it over here, and then move that shape over from there to the, where's the teapot? Where's our teapot? There's our teapot. There we go. Object. Transform. Align object. No. Object. Snap to cursor. Oh, we're already pretty close with the shape. Sweet. But instead of it bending inwards and going down again, now we have to actually go up. Now we rotate this thing. I think the point of this thing is that we have to actually follow this shape and then modify the front afterwards. I think this is a good starting point, and then we can add a second shape to the bottom of it with objects and the Z direction. then we probably have to move this one upwards. I think that's a decent start. Ah, this one still had like a solid bottom element to it. Around here, huh? So imagine if I were to say that this, that can we split this? Yep, it's a separate thing now. Cool. So that means we can also extrude it separately in this direction. That's the wrong one. And I think for wait, I wonder if I can. Nope, it doesn't want to do it. Okay, then I think we have to separate this object then. Select more and then separate. No, maybe not separate. Separate selected points from connect unselect points. Yes. So now if we go into edit mode, we can delete this one. And we have to shoot more. Then we subdivide it as well. Okay. Why is it losing its color this way? So what's going on in the center here? Oh, is that the problem? Okay. So we can turn this into 360 degrees again. This one as well. And then now we need the top part. Where's our reference image? I think we should start with giving this a thickness. How much millimeters is that? 2 millimeters. We can probably just duplicate this thing and then Z-axis. Maybe I can just delete this one and then make this one bigger. Then probably delete this one. And bring it more to the center. And And then for material, you should probably make it metallic. And then can I just extrude this? I'll probably have to make this side smaller. What to do? What to do? And I think we can just say this, and then say we want to split it. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back. It's good to see you again. Let's see, I think we have to split it then. And then if it's split, then next what we have to split is this one. And then separate. And then we're gonna change the material for this one to solid color 2. I'm doing good. Hey, good to hear that. What are you working on? I'm working on a teapot. I'm using a random image from Google as a reference for this. It's not going to be 100% the same shape, but it's going to be pretty close to it. You can see there's some things that are different, but I just wanted to have a teapot for my set as well. Let's see, then the next thing should be the handle, right? It's kind of unique that the handles are attached to the glass itself. You see that? You don't see that often. Usually there's like a plastic something. Gonna press Y. And then edit mode. And then we're gonna remove the screw. Gonna remove the solidify. Gonna remove these vertices. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this. and bring it around over there. Then we're gonna rotate this thing. This one goes in this direction. This one goes a little bit more up. We should be able to get pretty close to the shape. And then we're gonna extrude again. I think that's a nice base shape. Let's see if we can make it actually 3D, because now it's just flat, right? We're gonna do that by doing 3 millimeters here. And then maybe lower that a little bit. Then we're gonna add 2 over here. You have an Instagram? No, actually I don't. You think I should? At the moment, I only have a Discord. I have a Twitter. I have, of course, YouTube and Twitch. That's all I have at the moment. We're gonna tilt this thing 90 degrees. Let's see, fill caps. Question, do a lot of people still use Instagram, or is it slowly not being used anymore? Taper object, what's that used for again? Curve object name that defines the taper width. Oh. Oh, can we go back again? Is that possible, or just always have to end in that corner? Yeah, people use it, but there's a lot of vulgar things, so it's good to avoid. I guess it also depends on what the algorithm thinks that you're interested in, right? So if you're looking a lot at like 3D modeling stuff, then probably you're gonna get recommended a lot of 3D modeling stuff. Sorry, I was taking something off the wall. But yeah, I'm not sure what to think about Instagram and like those other, what is it, like TikTok kind of platforms. I feel a little bit conflicted on using them. Because I do know there's like a lot of smut as well on those channels. And as like a, well, I'm gonna call myself a content creator here, but as a content creator, it's just yet another thing you have to worry about, right? I think what we can do is we can duplicate this thing. And then edit it. And then grab these things and just move them over here. Although I will say, I used to have like a private Instagram account, just because some other people that I used to know were using it, and then you could catch up on the story, right? Or like what was going on in their life. But eventually you sort of, how do you call it? Get out of touch with people or something, or you never really talk to those people anymore, and then you start to wonder like, why am I still checking their stories? Like, what's the point? I'm not sure if I'm making sense with that. You are a content creator. Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't really feel that way, right? Because I'm just doing my thing. And maybe it's also because sometimes the word influencer or content creator has like negative how do you call it, like negative association. Let's see what it looks like if we remove the background image. You can change the color as well. It doesn't mean that's gonna be the end color, right? It's just adding some color variation to it. Let's see, then we can look at the modifier here. At the moment it's 360 degrees. We can make it a little bit easier on ourselves by probably making it 180 degrees. You watch anime? Yeah, I do. Any shows you're following? Or into? I got quite the hours on my name for watching anime, to be honest. Watch Solo Leveling? Oh boy, yes. I actually, before it became an anime, I actually read the entire manhwa. The funny thing is that Solo Leveling originally started as a Korean webcomic, or like a Korean manga. And then it gained a lot of support and became very popular. I think there was like a light novel or like another form of media, and then eventually it became a webcomic. So you could just read it online on the website. And it was still very popular. And then I saw last year it got announced into an anime, which is apparently super rare because Japan tends to animate Japanese works more than they would animate Korean works, right? So it's actually a miracle that Solo Leveling got animated. Pretty cool stuff. But that also means I already know how the story's gonna end for that show. Let's see. What do we have for objects? Edit mode. Oh, you also read it? Nice. Don't forget it's getting a game too. Wait, really? What kind of game? Is it just single player? I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's a single player game, right? A mobile game? Really? Wait, how does that work? Do you just play as the main character and then you get random summons as like a gacha game? Like you get ant soldiers, you get knights, magicians, etc. Is that how it's gonna work? Maybe it's RPG or story mode. Oh, possibly, yeah. Also, I think at this point we're gonna have to turn this into a mesh. And then we're gonna open it up again. And now we're gonna have to do something I haven't done before. So we're gonna turn this one again. Because we're gonna have to move this outwards and downwards. But I'm not sure how easy this is gonna be to pull off. Oh yeah. This is not gonna be easy. You're just gonna have to see and hope for the best. Oop. But I like that solo leveling is actually a solo leveling experience, or like the show actually focuses on that aspect. Like you have a lot of bait and switch kind of stories. Excuse me. Have you ever used any other 3D software? Yeah. So before I did my engineering degree, I messed around a little bit in Google SketchUp, which is like the very simple 3D modeling software, right? And then after that, I used AutoCAD, which is from the company Autodesk. I also tried some ArchiCAD, which is like mostly focused on architecture. I did see Maya, but I never touched it. And later on, I also used a plugin for what was it called? A plugin for SketchUp called V-Ray, I think. What kind of engineer are you? I'm a construction engineer, officially speaking. I finished my degree, so actually it is my title. Funny thing. If you finish an engineering degree at a certain school, then you can call yourself an engineer. It's like your official title. It's a noble profession here. Oh. Does it come with any other special things in your country then? Do you get any special benefits? Okay, so we're gonna make this transparent and then gonna add a mirror to see what it looks like. This can look better, I think. I think it's because of the twist. Oh. Let's see if we bevel this. Okay, this makes sense. I think we might have to select some things in the center here. Let's see what if beveling works. It seems that beveling makes it look a little bit nicer, but not enough, not enough. Let's see, what if we did a loop cut? If we did a loop cut, it went all the way down. That's not what we want though. If you do it over here, then where is it going? Yeah, that's also not what we want. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab these things, move it outwards a little bit. And then every other student try engineering or doctor or catered account and government official. These are some high-paying degrees, and these are damn hard to get into. Oh, yeah. Engineering is nothing to sneeze at. Also, welcome back, Narwhal. What I'm trying to do now is get that, how do you call it? Like the pouring section of the cup. I'm trying to get that right. Okay, we need to turn that off. I think we have to delete this face. And then also delete these. I think we have to extrude this one to the center. Maybe turn this one off. But yeah, I only did engineering myself, even though it was construction engineering with a major in architectural design. I didn't actually do an architectural study itself. So that's why I can only call myself an engineer and I can't call myself an architect. That degree was a little bit too expensive for me. I think I'm gonna have to grab this one and then extrude over the y-axis. And then let's see what it allows me to do here. Okay, that looks smooth, That's very promising. Then we do it again. E, Y, put it there. Grab this, this, and this. And then go here again. Extrude with E again over the Y axis. Put you over. Turn this one off. E, Y. But yeah, hopefully you were able to do what you had to do. We are just trucking along. Why is it going inwards? I think we can just do this and that should close it up. It's not yet ideal though. You know what? Maybe a loop cut on this side isn't even that bad. Over here. It does add like a very thick rim here. That's not what we want. That's a bummer. Oh wait, can we do an outer, how do you call it, like an outer inset? Is that possible here? Doesn't look like it. When I tried it, it just looked worse. E, X. E, and then Z. And then we're gonna move you over here. That closes it off. I think the angle here is maybe a little bit too steep, but that should be more rounded. Same for this thing over here. Can we bevel this? Nope. See, so that means that these two sort of have to be subdivided. Maybe this one and this one as well. Subdivide. Number of cuts, just one. Oh wait, maybe, what if you do 2 cuts? And then we have to solve this little situation here. Is that the easiest way? Let's see, if I were to cut this... Oh, that's what we can also do. Subdivide by 1, Then we remove these faces. And then delete these as well. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. There's still like that steepness over here. Could I perhaps bevel that? Is that allowed? I think it looks pretty neat. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the result. And I think because of like the unique shape of the thing, now you can actually see how good this glass shader is. Like at the moment it's just reflecting like a green background. We can change that over here to like something else. Yeah, if there was a red scene or background, take over this. Or let's see. Oh, this is very dark. Studio light. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, we did a double thingamajig. I think the only thing that we're missing is like a button over here. I wonder why this is not showing up anymore though. Or is it so perfectly aligned that it's no longer showing up? Oh well. We wanted to add a button somewhere over here. So for this one we can just do a simple one. We can just put a cube there. 10 millimeters. Then what we can do is oh wait, if we curve it, it's gonna curve weird. Yep, it's gonna curve in a very weird way. We don't want that. We also have to do this. And then of course wait, maybe I can just make it longer first. And now we can add a bevel. And then instead of a curve, can we do a simple deform? The taper. What was it again? It's not stretch. I thought it was bent. Now, let's see what happens if we... that's a little bit annoying. Can we shade it smooth? And then... Funny how low the actual shape is compared to the rest. Do I rotate more? Nope. I'm also too lazy to actually put down like an empty and then rotate it around. So this one makes it like very long. Yeah, I probably can't make a close-up of that. Well, at least there's some kind of button over here. Makes me wonder if I should put anything on the inside here as well. Or if that's too much. Can probably also remove this one. I think that makes it look a little bit nicer. Before the top looked a little bit too thick for my taste. But now we got an actual proper teapot. Hey! How many parts is this? Quite a few, actually. But at least we got one. Now, can I also easily move it, or is it then gonna break? Yep, there's one thing that doesn't want to move. It's the button. I think we have to... Let's see, there's twist. There's bend. I think we have to apply it. And now everything, select objects, move it over here. Oh, the button doesn't want to move. Where's the button then? You're in the wrong group. Teapot. Select objects. The only sad thing at the moment, I can do that between streams probably, is that how do you call it? The origin point isn't like exactly flush with the bottom. It's like floating a little bit. We can solve that later. It's probably a matter of like putting down a grid and then moving everything around till it snaps to a grid point and then put origin points down. Let's see, we got our forks, we got our knives, we got our spoons, we got our bowls, we got our plates, we got our cheese plate, we got our drink set with the teapot, the mug, the cup, sugar canister. We even made an extra version of a mug. So we can actually duplicate new. Where is it? New. So I'm gonna call this mug 2. And then we're gonna grab these things. We got our ice grip, or ice tongue grip over here. The only thing that we're missing now is the glasses, like the, what is it? Like cocktail glass, Collins glass, highball glass, margarita glass, zombie glass, milkshake glass. But these are like glasses we made before, so I can just import that later, I think. Or we can work on that maybe next week. We've got our napkin holder, napkin, hot pot coaster, which is this thing. We've got our bottles, a lot of bottles by the way. Wait. Bottle. Oh, these are not in the correct. Okay, so this is bottle cap 2. And this is okay, this is bottle twist 2. So this one has to go over here. And this one has to go to the ice bucket or ice holder. Ice holder, ice holder. There we go. Clean it up a little bit, so you don't lose track where everything is. But I think that should be it for today then. We gave everything a little bit of color. We separated some groups. We added some skin wraps. We got some bottles. Something I'm considering is, should I make six packs and then skin wrap something around that? That could be cool as well, right? Like you make a 6-pack of cans and then put like a plastic wrapper around it, so you can stack it as like storage. And it's easy to make because I can just use the modifier and then array and then do it like this. And then add another array for the other side. I think that should be doable. I haven't used the skin wrap in that way, but I know it's possible. Like some people can gift wrap objects by putting like a skin wrap around multiple objects. So I kind of want to try that, see if I can make it work. But I'm gonna do that another time. For today, I'm done. It's exactly 6 o'clock, so that means I'm gonna go have dinner now. Let's see, who can I send you guys off to? Who is streaming at the moment? Take care, Jinn. Have a good rest. Hey, thank you. I'll be back again on Wednesday, and we're gonna play a game I haven't played in a while. But last week I started playing it again. It's Darkest Dungeon. We took a long break from it, but yeah, we're going back in. I think we're pretty close to unlocking the vault, or what is it called? Not the vault, the bank. Once we get the bank, we get like a passive income every week. So that means once you get high enough money, you can get a lot of money. And then you don't have to worry about like spending money or collecting money again, because you just gain interest passively. Which should make the future runs a lot easier, because then you can just focus on the heirlooms instead of the gold. Let's see, rating. What's going on at the moment? Or is this like one of those annoying times where people are barely streaming? Let's see. Or should we just go after someone random? We can also do that. Blender. Who else is working on Blender? It is a Monday, yes. Mondays are slow days, right? Also, I see a different tag called Makers and Crafting. At the moment, on Twitch's side, I always pick like art, but I guess this is more Makers and Crafting, right? So maybe in the future I should change the tag maybe this isn't considered art. What do you guys think? Is this considered more makers and crafting, or is this more considered art? What about modeling? Seems not a lot of people are doing Blender at the moment. Let's see. Some people. Oh, yeah. It seems most people, if they're working in Blender, they're still working within the art category. Oh, I see someone interesting we could rate. I don't know this person personally yet, so it's gonna be a surprise, but he does seem to be working on a 3D environment, and it's also futuristic. So that looks cool. It's a pretty small channel. He only has, what is it? 66 followers. So yeah, let's go there. At least if he allows raids, of course, I have to double check that. Okay, let's head over there. I'm gonna log off in the meanwhile. You guys have fun. Also, I should probably link the Twitch channel on YouTube as well, so you at least know where I'm sending you guys. There you go. But I'm off. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.